thanks very much for coming. So I'm going to facilitate about an hour's worth of content about Dundee, just to give a sense of what we're up to. So since our first fairness strategy in 2012, believe it or not, we've been gradually and deliberately trying to increase the voice and lived experience and work that we're doing in the city. Hannah's already told you, and I don't need to tell you why it matters. It's absolutely crucial. But we picked up what the Public Truth Commission motto about nothing about us without us, it's for us, which I think captures an awful lot of the philosophy behind the importance of lived experience and what we're trying to do in the city. We have, after we developed, we had three of the classic fairness commissions in Dundee, which have some great ones on the end through Edinburgh. We did some two, which of people with lived experience and some civic leaders coming together to consider some of the issues in the city and to come up with some recommendations. This is a photograph of the committee members of the first commission going through to following to meet the then Minister in Carmel. And it was a great day that we had organised by a good friend of ours jumping across. It was quite thorough. And I think people, the importance of the first commission, it was like a statement of where we are in Dundee, what we believe in, and people going through to all of it. It was great as a statement of how important that voice is. So we had three of those, and they were great. People learned a lot, people were really committed. But what they didn't give you was an ongoing dialogue, an ongoing voice. We noticed that the community members of these commissions were keen to have an ongoing role to they gained a lot of experience, they gained an appetite for the kind of discussion that we were having. We were getting used to being able to influence some decisions, and then after a year or so, we were thrown out. The next bunch were brought in. We thought that's an effective way of working. So we decided to set up a Fairness Leadership Panel. Again, there had been one in Glasgow, and it went on its own trajectory. I think we've done a different kind of job in Dundee. And that the panel in Dundee is now a combination of the organisation for all the community representatives who've been in the Fairness Commission, which is called Dundee Fairness Leadership Panel. They developed their own independent organisation to campaign on poverty issues in the city, to represent the voice of people who've got the least. And they joined with another bunch of civic commissioners on an ongoing basis on the Fairness Leadership Panel. We think that panel, the Fight for Fairness, is amazing because it's a body that holds us to account, the Council and other interested partners on the delivery of the Child Poverty and Fairness Plan. It's an ongoing voice and a vehicle through which communities can express their concerns about what's happening in the city, and it gives us a sounding board where policy makers, service designers can go and speak to people about how they could improve the quality of the service that we provide. So I'm looking at Andy up to the back. So our employability service has been the subject of lots of conversation between Fighting for Fairness and the service developers. So we've had a panel for 2 or 3 years now. So it looks like a Fairness Commission, but it's got an ongoing role in the city. It's an established part of our community planning process. It has close links with the Dundee Partnership, which is our community planning board, and it's clearly got a huge role to play in all of our anti-poverty systems and the work that we do on that. It's co-chaired by the chair of the Fight for Fairness group, but also in the City Council, so that demonstrates the quality and the status of the commitment that the council is making to the process. The panel gives us feedback on our action plans, so as important as the feedback from the improvement services, of course, it's absolutely crucial. We also take feedback from the Fight for Fairness, and they don't miss us. When we're talking about the quality of the plan, or the clarity of the plan, or the stuff that we've got in it, the content, or whether it makes a lot of sense or actually proves that we've done as much as we could or should. So, for example, the outstanding commitment you have to through their action plan is trying to be able to demonstrate what did you actually do over the last year that's going to make a difference. The plan itself has a dedicated space for the panel to talk about what they've been doing, what their work has been, and what their priorities are for the year ahead. So we like to think that the action report is as much the panels as it is the councils and the rest of the partnerships. And the panel is just coming to the end of one of the phases, and Jackie will tell you more about that in a second. And the recommendations that we've developed are absolutely most likely guaranteed to be in next year's report and an action plan. So I would like to think that this is the latest commission. Jackie might mention that gentleman in the middle, Tony, who is our inspirational co-leader. He unexpectedly died last year. I think that as a panel, I think we're all still recovering from that, but we also like to carry on in his name. And there's a great quote from Tony in the GRF report. The panel just goes from strength to strength. They host our annual fairness conference, and I play more and more of a role in designing and delivering that. And we're really proud to have Fight for Fairness and the Leadership Panel as our partners in tackling poverty and society. Has it got it up? One of the best bits of work was that the panel and me and my colleagues, we worked on a one-page summary from the annual report, and this is one of the few bits of controversy that we've had in the city, and trying to argue about whether it's a one-page or a two-page report. Andrew made it, we agreed, it's one page with two sides. So I forgot that this morning, but I'll write it, go and get some question. And then we were absolutely delighted when GRF decided to have a look at the work of the panel and made it focus on their briefings. And I think it was that bit of research which gave us the intelligence and the background to have an event like this. I don't think this event would have been happening if it hadn't been for that briefing. So I don't want to say much more other than to say a wee bit about what we're going to be doing next. I've given you a reintroduction. Jackie from Fight for Fairness is going to talk about, from Facebook Community, we'll talk a wee bit more about the action process plan before we hear from GRF and from what matters to you. So I'm almost went as fast as Hannah did. So next we're going to hear about Fight for Fairness and the Leadership Panel. So could I ask you to welcome Jackie Close, the Director of Facebook Community, and some of our colleagues from